Welcome to LifeHerStyle, a podcast for Christian women who are ready to live boldly for Christ in every season of life. I'm your host, Kari, pastor's wife, ordained minister, toddler mama, and truth-speaking friend. Whether you're navigating motherhood, ministry, marriage, or your God-given mission, you'll find inspiration rooted in scripture and stories that point your heart back to Jesus. Tune in each week as we explore faith-filled living through the stories of ordinary women doing extraordinary things for Christ. Because her style of life, it's set apart. Let's do life her style. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the LifeHerStyle podcast. I am here in our church. If you see behind me, this is like our church setup. We're actually on the stage right now, so you can get a glimpse of this where we go to church. And it's dark at night. And we have two lights on us, so if I were by myself, this would not be happening. No, we wanted to get together because Aubree and I, which you're familiar with Aubree's voice. I haven't had you on the YouTube.
No, first timer. First timer on the YouTube.
This is the best friend, everybody. This is what she looks like. Beautiful, wonderful, the whole package. And so we wanted to get on because we recently got a really cool opportunity to go on a weekend retreat.
Yeah.
Through our church. We left our children and our husbands at home.
We did.
That's happened for you before.
Yes.
This is my first time.
Yeah.
And you could tell the whole weekend that it was my first time. But the whole theme of the retreat, because this was through our church, is called the Dwell Conference. I was asked to talk on the panel, which if you haven't heard it, you can go back on the podcast. The last two episodes are that panel discussion about rest, which I thought it was apropos that we were like on this retreat and technically kind of resting. I mean, we did stuff, but it was mostly restful. There's a lot of things we get to unpack during this episode. But I just wanted to sit down for you all with Aubree and kind of go through our weekend and what we did, but then also like what we learned from it, because I feel like for me, it was a big reset. And every once in a while, like I think of things that, you know, were said during the weekend and it really switches gears for me during the day. And so I wanted to talk about that, for everybody's benefit. But first, we will go through what we did on the weekend. It was really very fun, but kind of a slow start.
Which is good.
Yeah.
Which was good.
Yeah. It always challenges me when I'm not running on my schedule, what schedule that I have, outset. So from the very first point, we said you were going to come and pick me up at like 10 a.m. Was it 10 a.m.?
It was 10.
And so you drop your son off for school. You got to go see your husband one more time before coming over. Well, my husband and my child were still at home. There was no dropping anybody off and like having a hard, it stops now.
Yeah.
Mama goes now, which made it harder. But Aubree got to show up during our family Friday breakfast, and it was like the slowest. She got there, got to sit down at the table with us. We would have given her pancakes.
We were doing a little bit of drumming.
Yeah. You got to experience like our Friday morning.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of what it was, because at one point my husband's like, "You're staying for breakfast." And I was like, "But it is 10 o'clock right now." And we could get on the road. Like, I knew that we would make it in time.
Right.
But I wanted to, like, get there and have plenty of time. Which in the end, it didn't matter anyway, and we'll get to that.
Right. Right.
But we did, because we do something called the Worship Initiative through Shane and Shane most mornings. It's like a worship devotional online. And you listen to, and so Aubree got to experience this whole time. We were kind of like singing along and everything. And then my daughter had a mind of her own about wanting to show Aunt Aubree all of the things.
Which was so special. Like, I loved that.
Yeah. And she loved it. And I thought, okay, this may make leaving a little bit easier because she's gotten to do kind of this fun stuff. And my husband had the thought in his mind that he was going to have like a fun daddy-daughter weekend. And y'all had daddy-dude weekend prepared.
Yes.
Which I feel like your son fared way better than our daughter did. Like he was a champ. I just don't know how he did. I mean, I know he had his difficult moments, but so we took our time that morning, and then we went out to the car with all of my 57 bags of luggage, which I don't even know. Like, I'm just used to now as a parent packing everything.
Right.
I mean, I took snacks we never ate. Like we were finding other things to eat. But what was your, like, were you like, hurry up? What was your perspective on that?
So at first I was like, oh no, we are going to be so late because I'm just such a like time person. However, it worked out perfect.
Yeah.
It was a good reminder, like, why are we rushing through things?
Yeah.
Like, why?
Yeah. It was like a lesson at the beginning.
It was a lesson. Yeah. And it just kind of made me pause a little bit and just kind of think like, okay, like when I am like, all right, Ellis, let's go. Let's go.
Yeah.
Why? Like,
Yeah.
how much time does that save?
Yeah. And I've actually read, like, when you're rushing, it takes more time.
Probably.
Because you're all frazzled.
Yeah.
But in the moment, I don't think of that. I'm just like, let's get out the door. Like,
Yeah.
Sunday mornings, the worst. And we live right next door to the church. Like, I don't know why I'm rushing so hard. And I usually beat the whole, like, praise team to church anyway. So I don't get why we do it. But yeah, like, that was a really good lesson in the beginning because I feel like that was a theme throughout the whole weekend.
Yeah.
It was just like, slow down.
Right.
You don't have to go so fast. And that's something that, we'll talk about later. I feel like I've carried that with me a little bit too. But then, my daughter wanted to give me a bajillion hugs. She wanted to buckle me into the car, like we buckle her into the car. So she's like on my lap, buckling me into Aubree's car. And I thought it was going to be just fine. I thought it was going to be fine. And then my husband takes her up on the porch. And like as soon as you about kicked it into drive, she let out a howl. And I was like, oh no. Like, I thought I was going to cry. I didn't actually cry, but I got a splitting headache. I remember taking a leave after that and you were like, should I go? And I was like, yes, just go. And like, she's screaming the whole time we're driving away. That was the hardest possible moment of my parenting life, was like watching her face and hearing her and being like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what's going to make this easier on her. Is it if I just rip off the Band-Aid and go and she'll be fine in 5 minutes? Well, we found out that, like, she was fine in 5 minutes only if she FaceTimed me. And for the vast majority of our drive down, I was on FaceTime with my daughter. We weren't having, we had some deep conversation, personal conversation, but most of it was her calling us. She kept wanting to see you. So I'm like, who are you calling to talk to here?
Yeah, and I would turn and look at her, and she'd be like, your eyes need to be watching the road.
Yeah, keep your eyes on the road.
Got it.
All right. I have a little bit of a bossy 4-year-old who tells me how to drive. Like,
you know what? I appreciate that she's looking out for our safety.
I guess. And so, like, that made the trip down go super fast.
Yes.
Because, we were halfway entertained, I guess. It was kind of entertaining. We did stop. We got coffee on the way, about, 40 minutes down the road. And then at our halfway point, because this was in Branson, so this is about 4 hours from our town. And so whenever we go to Branson, Clinton is kind of like our halfway point. It's kind of the halfway point between St. Joe in Branson. But when we get to Clinton, usually, it's like the only things that are there, like on the main drag, are like Wendy's and Burger King. And like, that's not my jam. Like, that's not my jam. And so we did a little like perusing of the internets before we left. And what's crazy about that is I found this place, but you also found this place. And I was like, what about this? And you were like, I was just looking at that. So it was obvious that was where we would end up. But we ended up at this place called Ben Franklin Bistro. And it was really kind of cool.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
I liked it. Like, there is no other Ben Franklin Bistro that I know of. And it was kind of like a cool sandwich, salad, lunchy stop, which was something I like anyway. I'd rather have that than a burger most of the time. Or if I have a burger, I want it to be like a special burger. I don't want it to be Burger King.
Oh.
Sorry,
no.
Burger King.
Yeah.
And so all of the sandwiches and salads were named after famous people. And I don't remember what I got now. Do you remember what you got?
I don't remember what it was called.
I don't either. But there's like Mona Lisa and Amelia Earhart and I don't know what. I mean.
Did you get the Rosa Parks?
No, I think you did.
Did I get that?
I think you got that.
I might have got that.
I might have gotten like a president.
It was good.
It was really
It
good.
was good.
Like, it was kind of, we knew what we were having for dinner that night, which I had ordered a chicken salad for dinner, and you had ordered
The turkey
sandwich. Okay. And so I didn't want to get what I was going to get that night, so I kind of ordered something different. And we sat and we had a great conversation. Like, it was just a great conversation. And at that point, that's when the trip felt real to me. Like, I was on a vacation with my friend.
Yeah.
And so that's when it kind of started. Then we got back in the car, and my daughter woke up from her, from her quiet time. She doesn't actually sleep. And then she FaceTimed us again. And so I think at that point, like, my husband was trying to get her off the phone and to kind of like tune into what he had planned, but his whole plans for that day for them were kind of shot because he just let her connect with me. But then once we got there, I think I was more annoyed than you were when we got there and realized our room wasn't ready yet. And it was like, how much time did we have?
I mean, a little over an hour, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, not a huge amount of time, like we needed to get ready, but, you know, we had a little bit.
Yeah. We stayed at this resort, and we got there, like, the room was supposed to be ready at 3, and I think we got there at around 5. Like, it was a couple of hours past when we were supposed to check in, so I didn't think it would be a problem. So we go to check in, and they told us, they were like, your room's not ready yet, and I was like, well, how long is it going to take for the room to be ready? Because we have a conference that we're going to tonight. And so, I kept my cool. I didn't get Karen on it or anything.
No.
But, I wanted to be like, so what are you going to do about this? Because this is really inconvenient for us. And so we went into the lobby because they said they would call us. And we were both kind of, talking to our kids individually. But I mean, you were super cool about it, and I was like, this is really irritating.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
It'll all work out.
So I feel like you started the day like, oh no, we're gonna be late, and then you get there, and we're like, we're okay.
Well, and we were like less than 5 minutes from our destination where the conference was, so I'm like, we have plenty of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel like you being more level about it helped me a little bit, because I was kind of mad. And I remember calling my husband they won't let us in the room yet. We're 2 hours past when the check-in time should be. So, that part was a bummer. And then they called us maybe 20 minutes. We sat in the lobby for 20 minutes. It wasn't bad. And we got checked in. We went to the room. And I don't think it was then that we realized about the gap in the door.
I think that was that the evening?
Yes.
That was that
when
night,
we got
yeah.
back. Okay, so we got something to tell you there because that was fun. But we got to the room. We sort of like got our stuff a little bit settled. It wasn't like we were dressing up for this or
No,
anything
yeah.
because I didn't have to do anything that night. I was on the prayer team, but I was like, I can pray like this, you know. We're pretty laid back people. I don't get dressed up very often. And so we had a little bit more conversation with the kids, the husbands. We got ready to go. We went. And it was cool, like kind of a theater that we were in.
Yeah, I really liked it.
Yeah. I know they'd had this conference there the year before, but neither of us went to that last year. So this was our first year in this particular theater. And it was cool. It was like theater style seating. Lighting was cool. They had a coffee cart there, but they did not have non-dairy milk. So I got a lemonade. That was cool. I usually get dairy milk, but I was trying to be good for the trip. I just didn't want any problems with my digestive system because that happens.
In case you were wondering.
In case you were wondering, TMI. I am notorious for that, apparently. If you listen to, I think it was part 1 of the last episode about how much our state bishop knows about me and my reproductive system. Hopefully he's not listening to this right now because we don't need that reminder. But, you know, we got there and it was just a really good service, a really good reminder about what we were there for. And, you know, my head was still back at home. Like, I went out of the theater to go and, you know, tuck our daughter in, pray over her and stuff like that. You were like flying, like you were experienced at this. Like, you're just like, how are you feeling at this point? Like, was your mind back at home, or were you like, I'm free?
I kind of wondered, like, how my husband was doing at bedtime. Like, you know, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's awful. Just crying for me, and, you know, he's a mama's boy, and he just, you know, I love that. I love that. So I hate to miss those nights with him, but it's also super important for them to bond and have special time together. Yeah. So I, like, that first night, I was feeling like just fine. Like, you know, thinking about you guys, but, you know, I didn't know if me calling them would make it worse.
Yeah.
For them.
Sure.
So I was just like, I'm not going to do anything. I'll check in after service and see how it goes.
Yeah. Yeah, you're way cooler than I was. And I'm pretty, like, I feel like I wanted to leave my phone alone. I wanted to put it away because for the most part and recently, like, I haven't been going to that as, like, my escape, because for a long time I would just mindlessly scroll, you know. And I really wanted to do that. However, I felt tethered to home and concerned, you know, for my husband and concerned for our daughter and wanting to be available.
Right.
And I think now I look back and I think, you know, being unavailable is sometimes a little bit healthy too, both for them and for yourself. Because you need some of that time to shake life off of you a little bit. And it's not that we don't want to be with our husbands or with our kids. It's that sometimes we need to recalibrate. And I needed to recalibrate. And I feel like I eventually got there, but it took my husband nearly ghosting me to make that happen. Like, he was trying to get our daughter to connect with him instead of trying to connect with me on the phone. But then I felt completely disconnected, like, that second day. But we got through with the service. It was a really great service. I felt like it was a really good jump start into the whole idea of decluttering your life, decluttering your heart, decluttering your mind, focusing on the things of God. And she was like dancing around my book, The Christ in the Chaos thing, as as she was talking, I was like, stop it. Like, I'm writing a book about this stuff.
Right.
I don't want people to think I stole it from you, but it was just confirmation.
Right.
To me that I was kind of on the right track because as I'm writing this, like I'm learning it myself. And so it was like pressing at some of those points for me. And I mean, what were you feeling through the service aspect?
I thought it was great. I loved it. Just very much needed in a time, and maybe it's always been like this, but just so much overconsumption of everything. And everything is just so tangible and so available. And the idea of just stopping and taking stuff out that is just filling up space for what? Like, I thought it was great. I loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So after that, they have like a fun time scheduled for everybody. So we had pre-ordered like our meals for that night, which were really good. I liked mine. I had a chicken salad sandwich and you had the turkey.
Yeah.
Okay. And we connected with another pastor's wife friend of mine who was actually there by herself, but she like came with a group from another church. And so she sat with us. And, I get in those modes of feeling like I need to be a host. And so for her, I was like I was wanting to be a host. I was wanting her to have a fun time. I knew the two of us were going to have a great time, but I was like, I don't know. Are we her vibe? I don't know. If you're listening to this, Katie, are we your vibe?
Are we?
Are we? Because it sure felt like it by the end of our fun time. We felt like we were on the same wavelength. But they did some cool little games, and at one point we were singing lip syncing Sister Act for prizes, and I felt like we had a stellar performance. I mean, you had a stellar performance.
Well, I don't know about me. I did have practice.
Yeah.
I love Sister Act. I grew up watching that, and then at another women's retreat, I don't know how many years ago, we did a Sister Act
that came
skit.
up again.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, it was good.
Yeah, we didn't win.
No, we didn't.
Unfortunately,
But
yeah.
I thought we did well.
Which it was kind of like it was a conglomerate game. They did like a name that tune and all that, which we were great at. We could have won that.
Katie.
But see, you had the acting skill and the Sister Act knowledge.
So we just, shine in different areas.
Yeah, I think we should have won. I'm not bitter at all. Not
And we
holding a
were all the
grudge.
way in the back. So, I mean.
Yeah, they weren't really noticing us.
Yeah.
But even though I was being very loud, I was sure I was being loud. Just because that's the way I get when I'm trying to let other people have fun. I'll be the goofy one to cut the tension. I don't know. But it was really fun. But it was really fast. Like, I felt like nobody lingered. It was just like, okay, we played this game, we ate our sandwiches, and like, let's pack up and let's go. And so we got in the car, we went back to the resort, we got into our room, and like, you walked in before me, and then I walked in, and literally I heard a cough. And I was like, it felt like somebody coughed in my ear. It was that close. And I think I like flinched. And I don't know what you did. It wasn't until like we heard a sneeze or something. I'm like, that is next door to us. But it sounded like he was in our room.
Very thin walls.
Oh my.
Very thin.
Oh my. And then we noticed, because it was like a connecting room. So this room connected to this person's room, which it was a man, but I think he had children with him. Mm-hmm. And the door for the connecting room had a gap that was like 3 inches. And so I'm thinking, well, maybe this is a double door situation where sometimes they'll have like a door and then another door. Mm-hmm. So I get down on my stomach with my phone, and I have to wonder what this man was thinking at this point, if he was even seeing what was happening. But I turned the flashlight on the phone, and I'm down on the floor, and I shine the flashlight to see if there's a second door. There was not a second door. So we went into like fix it mode. I go get a towel. I come back out, and Aubree's got like the chair propped up against the handle of the door, and I'm like, smart move. Like, we would survive together. And so I rolled up a towel and put it, along the bottom of the door, and I'm pretty sure I shared that on Instagram. So if you follow me on Instagram, you probably saw this picture of this, this towel in front of the door, but it was because this gap was so large. And literally that night, his bed must have been where my bed was, because he moved and my bed moved. It was the weirdest.
So weird.
It was so weird. But like, thinking about that makes me laugh now, because I think he probably thought we were nuts. Because we came walking into the room, and I was like talking my volume.
Normal.
Yeah.
Normal volume.
Yeah. And I'm way louder than you. So yeah, that was fun.
Right. Then it's like, oh, okay.
Then
so
we're whispering.
We're whispering because we don't want to get a complaint at the front desk.
These women next door just won't shut up. And we're trying to like let loose and have a fun time, and yeah, which we did. It was just in a way quieter, low-key mode than we might have, before.
Did you hear him snoring?
Yes, absolutely did. Sounded like a locomotive. Like, he absolutely snored very loudly.
Oh.
Did you hear him?
No.
You slept. Like, I slept that night, but you were sleeping. I knew that you were tired. But yeah, he was...
Now, maybe if I was on the other side of the
Sure,
wall,
yeah.
that may have made it, feel the bed moving and,
I heard him and I was like, yep, this is how this is going to be now. Like, it just feels like he was snoring in my ear the whole night, and that was the weirdest. It was very trippy. But what I really liked about that night is we just literally... You laid in your bed, I laid in my bed, and we just talked.
Yes.
And that was like the most glorious experience. We never lived together before we were married. I often think back, why weren't we ever roommates?
Right.
I don't know. I think maybe we just like being alone. It was never a thought for us. We never even thought about that. It's just the weirdest thing. And so we got a brief taste of what it might have been like to be roommates if we shared the same room, because our beds were literally in the same room. And it was just so fun.
Yeah, that
talk.
was really fun.
Usually when we get together, it's like this, it's past our kids' bedtimes. We've tucked them in. Did you tuck your son in?
Yeah, he was still awake.
Okay. Oh, Lord.
Yeah, so it wasn't quite that same moment when you were leaving, but there were tears and
terrible.
I had the windows open. It's very nice outside, and I got to my car and I heard him say, "I just love her so much." And I'm just like,
your heart breaks and warms at the same time when your kids are so sweet. And sweet to you.
Yes.
But this is normally what we do when we get together, but it's so abbreviated.
Mm-hmm.
And we literally do it every few months.
Mm-hmm.
And so it feels like we have to run with our words to get everything out. And then we still don't even scratch the surface of what's happening in our lives or how we feel about it or process it with each other. And I felt like that weekend... we were able to get everything out there, that we ever wanted to talk about with each other. Literally riding home, I was like, is there anything that I haven't said that I would have wanted to say? Or is there any question I would have wanted to ask that I haven't asked? And I slept for a little bit of it on the way home, and that's another story. But it was just it was nice to be able to just sit there and talk to each other and laugh about the dude next door. And I got a pretty good night's sleep that night. And then
I did too.
You wake up early though.
Yes.
And so I feel like I heard you get up, and I think I tried to sleep. And then I was like, no, I'm awake now. Because it was maybe past 7 when I woke up. You woke up sooner than that. But I think I woke up, kind of drifted back off to sleep, and then woke back up. And we had it in our minds that we were going to go for a walk.
Mm-hmm.
And we sort of decided that we weren't going to take the trail, but they had like an observation deck with a waterfall. And I remember you saying something like, I don't want you to be disappointed. This may be like the waterfall we have at home in our park, which
right.
we don't live anywhere where there's like mountains or anything. And so I was like, oh, that's fine. It's just the experience, you know? And so we get up and we walk in the actual like resort, like parking lot area. And then you go down to the observation deck. And if you've never been to Branson is all hill.
Mm-hmm.
It's just everywhere is hills. Very steep. I don't know how anybody lives there in the winter.
Truly.
Because even driving up to get to that resort is like, if it were snowing, we'd be in big trouble.
Right.
And, you know, we both drive Subarus. So you would think they would just gun it up. But I kind of felt like, oh, are we going to make it up this hill with no ice? And so getting to the waterfall was all downhill.
Mm-hmm.
But I felt like we were literally having to sit down to like get down the hill because it was so steep.
Yeah.
And we got there and we saw the waterfall. Thanks so much for tuning in to LifeHerStyle. If today's episode encouraged you, share it with a friend, leave a review, and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. Want to keep the conversation going? Come hang out with me on Instagram at LifeHerStyle. I'd love to connect with you there. And for deeper devotionals, resources, and encouragement straight to your inbox, join the LifeHerStyle community on Substack at lifeherstyle.substack.com. Until next time, remember, your life, your walk, your style. Do it all for the glory of God.